In a culture where people nearly destroy each other and struggle, there is such a thing as community, with a philosophy of love, where we are brought together instead of being torn apart. The longing for such a community is very great. Many famous personalities gave testimonies during the Congress. Sister Elvira Petrozzi is the founder of the Cenacolo community. Not only were her protégés delighted by her address, but also the entire audience in the cathedral was impressed by her joy. We need this tenderness, this special love that the Virgin Mary has. Only she can fill our hearts with this love. The Cenacolo community is successful at working with young people who are drug addicted and tries to help them integrate into life. Andrea Riccardi is the founder of the Sant'Egidio community. This community is well known all over the world for their tireless engagement in interreligious dialogue for peace. They have even been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Testimonies and analysis were a principal feature of the Congress. Martine Cata from Paris is one of the co-founders of the Emmanuel community. After the main addresses, one had the opportunity to join groups and workshops where the themes and topics central to the Congress could be discussed. The subsequent Forum of Ideas, which was held in the courtyard of the Archbishop's Palace, offered a colorful, modern picture of how to talk about one's faith in today's world. Everyone was invited to contribute ideas on how to evangelize. Tremendously important was the fact that the group could use each other's ideas. The communal meals gave one enough time to exchange ideas and to think over and reflect on what was heard, and to determine how different ways of evangelizing could be networked. A special point of the Congress was that the new ideas aired that morning could be translated into action that same afternoon. Only talking about something is not enough. This is what you have to do. I believe that Christians, lay people, and bishops can do something for Europe and the world when they get together and work for Jesus, for mankind.
Für Christus und also deshalb für die Menschen.
The
mission begins as a result of my passion for Jesus and ends up as my passion for people, a boundless love for the brothers and sisters that I encounter every day.
Sometimes we want to give and we think that we have to do this or to do that or to be perfect. And to love and to be loved is a lot simpler than that.
Evangelisieren ist ja nichts anderes als humanisieren.
To evangelize is nothing else but humanization. It is a human need, and it is nothing other than learning and obeying the commandment to love each other. The meaning of evangelization is to bring people together. Everyone went to their different groups, and then it all began. One of the missionary activities consisted of the Joy and Worry box in St. Michael's Church. People were invited to come into the church. Just a small gesture enabled one to lay concerns and prayers before Jesus. I think that the aim of the mission is to rely on the gospel, on the good news that God gives us, the good news of his love and mercy.
Un message d'amour et de miséricorde.
Dozens of mission groups were on the move in Vienna in order to get into conversation with people. One of these was Bishop Christopher Preuss. Bishop Preuss was enthusiastically taking part in the mission on the streets and in evangelization in the underground and in shopping centers. In doing so, he got some ideas to bring back to his own country.
I expect to be able to find some resources, some insights, some new methods of evangelization in the Catholic Church in the big cities of the third millennium. The big cities of a third millennium are now so immense, and their attitudes are so fluid that the Church needs to find new methods of pronouncing Christ as Lord and Saviour in a new context.
Into the Tent Coffee House near the cathedral. Every afternoon, people were invited to have a cup of coffee and a piece of cake. Much discussion took place here about God and the world. Here the concept of church became tangible, a church having an open ear for people's cares and concerns. 110 out of 170 parishes in Vienna, over 60 religious communities, youth initiatives, and renewal movements all took part in the city mission, because everybody was invited. This was an opportunity for the contemplative order of the Salesiana nuns, with the permission of the cardinal, to open their doors to visitors for a few days. The parish of Rheindorf, for example, hired an old-timer tram. Why did people in the parish take part in the mission? Because I'm really glad to demonstrate my faith, to be among other believers, and to be a witness to this in the city. The opportunity of going to confession or having a spiritual talk was available in many of the churches around the cathedral. A lot of people took advantage of this, some after many, many years. This reminds me of the feeling of belonging that has been given to all of us, particularly in that place where all human ties and connections have come to an end or reached their limit. This is the place where we find ourselves safe and secure in God's mercy.
Am Ende oder an der Grenze sind, dass wir in Gott, in seiner Barmherzigkeit geborgen sind.
The Mass in St. Stephen's was the communal source of strength for the mission. Saint Teresa tells us that our faith grows in proportion to how much we proclaim it. The same is true for the love of our fellow man. When we really practice this love, it grows immeasurably. Many people were invited to celebrate Mass on an evening of compassion in the presence of the relics of Saint Teresa of Lisieux, the patron of world mission. Father Guy Gilbert from France also came to Vienna. He cares for young people on the streets of Paris, many involved in drugs and violence. Still, he believes in love and in approaching people from different religions without prejudice.